Get ready for the craziest courtroom showdown you've ever seen. A sovereign citizen with 17 citations, a judge who's had enough, and a prosecutor ready to drop the hammer. This isn't just a legal hearing, it's a total meltdown. Buckle up, because things are about to get wild.
Because as a U.S. national, I have rights protected by the U.S. Constitution and the Supreme Court. I travel not for business and commerce. I just...
Same thing.
If the Mr. Williams in front of us does not admit that the ticket is in his name, is made out to him, I'd ask that the Mr. Williams on the ticket be given a warrant and that this gentleman be removed so we can continue with court.
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened.
Count 1, drove while license suspended. Count 2, open alcohol in the motor vehicle. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 1, open intoxicants in a vehicle driver. Count 2, furnish false forged info to police officer. Driver's license never acquired. Count 1. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, drive unregistered untitled vehicle. Count 1, open alcohol in the motor vehicle driver. Count 2, tinted windows. Count 3, operator or front seat passenger failed to wear a safety belt. Count 1, drive unregistered untitled vehicle. Count 2, if that same ticket is drove while...
All right, guys. Today we've got one of the most ridiculous sovereign citizens I've ever seen. This guy somehow managed to rack up a whopping 17 citations from a single traffic stop and still acts like he's above the law. Seriously, how does that even happen? Instead of taking responsibility, he's going full sovereign citizen mode, rambling about jurisdiction and refusing to acknowledge the court's authority. But trust me, the judge isn't having any of it, and by the end, he completely shuts this guy down in the best way possible. You don't want to miss it. Drop a comment and let me know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how clueless is this guy? Because after watching this, I'm giving him a solid 2. Alright, let's jump in and see what charges he's facing. 17 citations. This guy is collecting them like they're rare trading cards. And at this rate, he might just be the sovereign citizen final boss. I genuinely don't think he can count to 17. Yet somehow, he's managed to rack up that many violations, like he's going for a high score. The way he's acting, you'd think this was some kind of game, instead of an actual legal case. And, of course, he's got the typical sovereign citizen attitude, pretending laws don't apply to him, arguing nonsense in court, and making 0 sense the entire time. But trust me, the judge is about to hit him with a serious reality check. And it is priceless. Let's not waste any more.
Aaron Ruck on behalf of Mr. Timothy Williams. Mr. Williams, state your name.
I object to counsel.
What was that?
I object to counsel.
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Williams. He's saying it's not him, and he's all rights reserved. His name is all in all capital.
I object to representation.
What was that, sir?
I object to representation by you.
Okay. So you would like to represent yourself, Mr. Williams?
I'm not representing myself. I'm just here on special appearance, trying to clear this matter.
Okay, so you have to be the person in order to clear these matters. You just can't appear on behalf of someone unless you're an attorney. Are you an attorney, Mr. Williams?
I'm not the person, but I'm the live living Williams, not the Timothy Williams.
Are you Timothy Talley Williams? Do you know Timothy Talley Williams?
I am Timothy Williams, the living, breathing Timothy Williams, not the all cap that says on my ticket.
Okay. All right. So do you want to try and resolve these today or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you need an offer? Is that what I'm hearing you say? Because we can try and resolve all these tickets today if you want to.
Well, I'm just, because as a U.S. national, I have rights protected by the U.S. Constitution and the Supreme
More time. Let's see how this disaster unfolds. Oh, sure. Because the US Constitution totally lets you ignore laws just because your name is in all caps. That logic is absolutely foolproof. Right. Someone, please explain this to me. If any of you can actually make sense of what this guy is saying, let me know in the comments because I'm completely lost. These sovereign citizens really think they can walk into court, spew nonsense, and magically get out of trouble. But guess what? That's not how the legal system works. Courts have shut this down countless times. Just look at cases like United States v. Harwell or United States v. Cooper. At this point, it's beyond ridiculous. These people claim to be US nationals or sovereign citizens, but in reality, it's all just an excuse to dodge responsibility.
You travel, drive, ride, anything on the city streets of Detroit, then you have to follow the rules that the city of Detroit has imposed. And so if you have not followed these rules, then you receive something called tickets. And these tickets are given to you based on the license or prior license or identification ID that is given to you. So we can either resolve these today or we don't have to resolve them. It's okay. But I would like to try and resolve these so that you can move forward and do whatever you need to do.
Yes, I would like to resolve them, but as the officer is seeing in his computer that by the Secretary of State, my ID has been rescinded, canceled. I have a passport and I'm traveling, I don't drive. I just drive here.
Hold on, but if you drive in a vehicle, you need to have a driver's license. Your passport does not enable you the ability to be able to drive on the streets of Michigan.
I travel not for business and commerce.
Same thing. They have to have licenses as well. Have you ever heard of a truck driver without a license that drives on the commutes on the freeways, roads, or byways? It does not happen. You have to have a license to drive on the city of Detroit, state of Michigan, all 50 states are under my assumption and ability. So Mr. Williams, I can't go back and forth. I have a lot of people on my screen. I know you can't see. We can have this discussion, but it just has to be near the end of the docket if you don't want to resolve it right now. Okay?
But for the record, Your Honor, I don't drive.
Go ahead.
For the record,
Okay.
I do not drive.
Okay,
Your Honor.
so how do you want to resolve it today? If you don't want to resolve it, I have to move to the next person, Mr. Williams.
I would like to resolve this matter.
Okay, all right. So would you like me to get you a, yes, Attorney Snyder, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322. If the Mr. Williams in front of us does not admit that the ticket is in his name, is made out to him, I'd ask that the Mr. Williams on the ticket be given a warrant and that this gentleman be removed so we can...
Honestly, they need to be sent to an island where they can argue with palm trees instead of wasting the court's time. But what do you guys think? Is this guy actually delusional? Or is he just pretending to be? Let's get back into it. Boom! Now that's what I'm talking about. The prosecutor absolutely nailed him with a mic drop moment. If he wants to claim he's not the person on the ticket, fine. They'll just issue a warrant for the name listed. I love when courts don't play along with sovereign citizen nonsense. And honestly, I hope the judge follows through. This guy is turning the whole hearing into a circus. And if the court keeps humoring him, the docket is going to be backed up for hours. But what do you guys think? Was the prosecutor too harsh? Or was this exactly what needed to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep going. Now this guy has to sit around for another 3 hours just to be heard. Again, what a brilliant way to spend your day. But trust me, this next part is worth the wait. The judge literally talks to him like he's a child, breaking everything down step by step, like she's teaching a kid how to ride a bike. It's actually hilarious to watch. The way he reacts, you'd think he was some kind of legal mastermind, instead of a guy who just doesn't understand how traffic laws work. It's beyond ridiculous. Alright, let's get back into this meltdown and see what happens next. Wrong answer, buddy.
Excuse me?
I said, is it you, Mr. Williams, on these tickets? Because that's fair. That means that I'm talking to someone who doesn't have these tickets in my courtroom, and so that person has not appeared. But I'm assuming that it's you. Are these your tickets, sir?
If you assume, yes.
Oh. Okay. So do you want to, Mr. Williams, do you want to resolve these or not? We can't keep going back and forth. You want to take care of these today with some type of plea or no? That's my only.
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened by prison if I don't agree to these tickets.
Who's gonna send you to prison? I'm not sending anybody to prison today. I'm fining people. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving them fines, monetary fines.
The prosecutor just said she issued a warrant. She recommended a warrant be issued.
Right, but you're not gonna get arrested, but she's saying if you're not gonna say that you're the person on these tickets. Mr. Williams, I have 20 people. I can't argue with you at the beginning of the docket. I can argue with you at the end of the docket. So I'm gonna skip over this matter so we can continue. Let me get everybody else out, then I'm gonna give you all the time in the world and we're gonna figure out what to do with you today, okay? I don't mind taking the time, but I got all these other people on here who are looking like, come on now, okay? So just give me a recall on the record previously. I took a moment off. We had quite a busy docket this morning, and I want to make sure that we could give Mr. Williams adequate amount of time to be able to have and all of his questions answered about the matters that are before this court today. Appearances for the record, starting with the city attorney, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322.
All right. He continues to not want counsel. Is that correct, Mr. Williams?
Correct.
Okay. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Timothy
Last name?
Williams.
Okay, sir. Now you've had the opportunity to sit and look and see how everything pans out and how everything works, Mr. Williams, right? Did you want to be presented with an offer today, or how do you want to move forward?
Well, the offer was to get all this.
So the offer was, I think, so he had some extra cases, Attorney Snyder. So it was FTD, failed to display a valid operator's license, and an open alcohol passenger that was being offered in exchange. He did have a couple of tickets in default, another open intoxicant driver, Attorney Snyder, and it was forged or false police information to a police officer. He may have just given him like a ID that expired. But if you plead to those two cases, the remainder of your cases will be dismissed.
No, I was talking about the agreement between me and you was to get this sorted out today. That's,
right. So so the options are, so these are your options. You can ask for a pretrial. That gives you some time to get documents together and to get everything back in order and then present it to the court. You can ask for a bench trial. That's a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. Every single one of these officers who have made these allegations would have to appear on that date and come into court. Or you can ask for a jury trial. That's when the officers is in person. 6 citizens of the city of Detroit will make the decision based on the law. Officers still have to come in. You will have to come in at that point in time, and then we can resolve it that way. Those are the three, or you can plead guilty or plead responsible at this point in time. To the offer that has been extended to you. Those are the 4 things that we can do to resolve it today. And I guess the 5th one is if you don't want to do any of those, then it just remains as is and it just remains there. And then eventually it goes into warrant status.
Yeah.
Right, so I said,
rights, and I don't understand what's going on, so.
Okay. I don't know if they'll be able to help you. I really wish you would let us assign some counsel to you. They may be able to talk to you and help you understand a little bit better.
I tried, but he not listening, so I was taking them on hands.
All right. Sometimes you have to be willing to understand that they're going to give you the law, not necessarily what you're following, but the law that we practice in the state of Michigan.
I have no contract. If I have no contract with the Secretary of State, then like, why am I being took for this? I'm going through the proper procedure to have my rights protected under the Constitution and Supreme Court. So,
of Michigan?
Of Michigan, what?
No, I'm saying the Supreme Court.
The Constitution literally gives states the authority to enforce traffic laws. Under the 10th Amendment, that means states have full legal power to issue and enforce citations, no matter how much sovereign citizen nonsense you throw at them. And let's not forget about the full faith and credit clause, which requires states to honour public records, like, oh, I don't know traffic tickets, I guarantee this guy has no idea about any of this. But hey, they definitely don't teach real law in YouTube University. What do you guys think? Does he actually believe he found a magical loophole? Or is he just so deep into this nonsense that he's convinced himself it's real? And that's a wrap. At least for now. This guy actually decided to take his case to pre-trial. So we'll definitely be seeing him again. Apparently, he thinks he's a legal genius, but you'd have to be seriously delusional to push these arguments with a straight face. Honestly, I think the judge went way too easy on him. She let him ramble way longer than she needed to. A stricter.
Matters though, and that's gonna be the problem. You're gonna run into every time, Mr. Williams, that local matters are held. The Constitution extends the right for us to locally handle certain matters, such as ordinance violations, misdemeanors, driving offenses.
Right. So if I'm not a U.S. citizen, I'm a U.S. national. What jurisdiction does that fall under? I'm not a resident or a U.S. citizen.
Oh, you don't live in the United States of America?
I live in the United States of America, but not under the jurisdiction.
So that's your resident. Are you born, like, do you have you said you have a passport, is the United States of America passport?
United States of America, but not the United States, the federal territory.
Oh, you didn't get so you don't have like a federal passport given to you. It's not a passport issued by the United States of America.